outside the box ideas. Welcome back, everyone. Stephen Jobs did not start out with the iPhone 7. Stephen started with an idea and then he improved it step by step. Now, improving for the entrepreneur means failing forward. So nothing's going to be perfect when you start. So the ideas that you have, if they're outside the box, certainly keep trying because you'll get one day that will really work. Now, the challenge for most people is getting started. And once they start, they have trouble keeping going because others won't accept your ideas. All right, your ideas are okay. They're outside the box, and that's how new things are going to happen in life. So entrepreneurs, as we know them, they're a special breed of people. Doesn't matter whether they're male or female. They're different, and they're motivated, maybe because they want more money, maybe they want to be wealthy, maybe they want to be someone, maybe they just want to be admired, maybe they just want to be recognized. I don't know what it is, but they're motivated to change. And when you're motivated to change, you need lots of outside-the-box ideas. Now, that assumes that the box is full of ideas, and I don't know if it always is. So your idea is okay, and it's worth trying, and if it fails, so what? Just fail forward and do it fast. Your idea should be one to solve a problem. Entrepreneurs solve problems, and if they solve a problem, someone will pay them to do that. All right, now you're not going to make any money as an entrepreneur, and your outside-the-box idea is not going to work out very well unless you have a problem-solving product that you're going to end up with. Other people will buy that. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about outside-the-box thinking and outside-the-box ideas. Everybody thinks a routine way. If you're an entrepreneur, you've always got an idea in your mind that you want to try. That's perfectly okay. You're going to fail. Don't expect everybody else to be able to follow your vision. It's not going to happen. But if you're curious and you like to fix things, well, then you're going to be able to make changes in life. Now, it helps if you can create a better mousetrap. By that, I mean, when I say a mousetrap, I mean create a better product that people want to buy. In other words, it solves a problem. Now, Elon Musk, he came out with the Tesla car. Well, he figured out the environment would benefit, and he would benefit and be able to make a lot of money doing that. Was that widely accepted at first? No, but he did most of the things at the right time, and now the rest is history because he's a multi-billionaire. I don't know what idea you're going to come up with. Sure, it's going to be outside the box. Continue forward with your ideas. Make a lot of mistakes, but think about making problem-solving products. If you can do that, people will buy them and you'll make money. So in this episode, I'm answering outside-the-box ideas. Most people don't think outside the box. As a matter of fact, most people aren't very curious. What they're determined to do is they're determined to get the job done every day so they can get finished at the end of the day and go home and do what they want to do. Now, entrepreneurs, they're a different breed of cat. So don't get your feelings hurt if people don't like or they criticize your idea. That's part of the ball game. So just keep right on going. If you try the first time and it doesn't work, keep right on trying. You are a change agent if you're thinking outside the box. Now, the world doesn't help you make a living. You're going to have to make that living yourself. And the only way that outside ideas are going to work for you is to come up with ideas that are going to be problem solving for other people. Why? Because they'll buy them. So everyone else is watching what you're doing. They're all going to critique you. They don't care about your unusual things. Don't get your feelings hurt. Keep leaning forward. Focus on success. If you make excuses, it's not going to do you any good. When you do something that doesn't work, you did something that didn't work. So that's one step closer to something that does work. All right. Failing for an entrepreneur is not going to offend anyone. It happens all the time. So entrepreneurs need to be change agents. They need to fail forward, and you just have to do it fast. Okay, so focus on innovation. Focus on doing not what the average person does. They just want to get their work done and get home every day. They're focusing on completions. You're focusing on changing, and that's a good thing. All right, now, it would be an understatement to say that entrepreneurs are difficult to work with. Yes, they're difficult to work with. So if you're an entrepreneur, be patient with other people. You're determined. You have a mission in mind. They don't have that. So that's okay that they don't have that. You're thinking outside the box. Just keep right on doing that. So let me give you an example of an author that I've read many times. His name is Chet Holmes. And one of the famous books he wrote was The Ultimate Sales Machine. Now, a lot of people don't like to sell stuff, so it takes a lot of motivation to do that. So Chet Holmes, in his book, many times throughout the text, he uses the word pig-headed. Now, he takes the word pig-headed, which you and I could call stubborn, pig-headed, and then he puts other words behind it. So he'll say pig-headed determination, pig-headed concentration, pig-headed focus. Well, that has to be you if you're an entrepreneur. So the important thing to know is that Chet Holmes uses the word pig-headed to make the point that you're going to have to be stubborn if you're going to be successful. You're going to have to be pig-headed focused if you're going to be successful. Now, where are you getting those ideas? You're creating them, so that means everybody else isn't creating them. That means there's going to be a lot of mistakes. So don't worry about that. You're going to fail, but you're going to fail forward. That's the idea. So Chet Holmes said pig-headed. We'll say the same things. Be stubborn, be pig-headed, and keep working towards success. All right, so where are we? Well, where we are is we're talking about outside-the-box thinking. And today we're trying to discuss that subject. All right, now some of you need a lot of guidance to do this. Now, what's your guidance? Well, staying and keeping a secure career is important. So keep your secure career and then do this on a part-time basis. All right, can you make a six-figure income as an entrepreneur? Of course you can. You can go much more than that. Much, much more than that. How do you do that? Just keep coming up with those outside-the-box ideas. All right, so the next few minutes, I'm going to explain something I did that was outside the box, everybody disagreed with, but sure enough, it became a multi-million-dollar business, and today people are making $25,000, $50,000, even $100,000 just following the steps that I created so that they could make money. So I discovered a little-known business that was quite lucrative. Yes, quite lucrative, that had been around for over 200 years, and it was available in all 3,000 plus counties in the United States. Now, this business always works. It's a subset of the traditional real estate business, and I've been actively practicing this for a number of years. Now, you don't need a state, you don't need a license from the governor to do this. It's available in every single county. And what is it? It's all about the laws. And what does the law say? The law says, the legislature says, if you own property, you must pay property tax. All right, but the legislature doesn't have anybody there to make sure you do it. So they have the county treasurer levy the tax, then they try to collect the tax. If they can't do it, you go in default. Now, defaulted properties that haven't paid the tax, the treasurer is going to confiscate those properties. Now, what's the treasurer going to do with it? The treasurer doesn't want the property. The county doesn't want it. So they're going to resell that property. And they're going to resell that for pennies. Why do they do that? Because those taxes, they need that money to pay the police department, the fire department, the sheriff's department. You're getting the idea. Got to pay the county employees, send some money to the hospital, fix the roads. All that comes from property tax. So the county has to collect those taxes if they're going to pay their own bills. All right, so the treasurer will auction a defaulted property. Now, what do? Well, they were mandated to collect the tax. They couldn't collect the tax. So now they've got the property they confiscated. They sell it for 5 or 10 cents on the dollar. Now, that's hard to believe, but they sell it for 5 or 10 cents on the dollar, and the treasurer cancels. That's it. They delete the mortgage or the deed of trust loan. So what I'm saying is the treasurer is going to sell properties at auction in every county in the United States. They're going to sell those properties for 60%, 70%, even 80% discounts from what the market value or the tax assessed value would be. Now, I know that sounds pretty amazing to you, but while this is going on, it's been going on for over 200 years. The county is selling at low prices because they want to get rid of the property and they want to get it back on the tax roll. So you can buy these properties for pennies, 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents on the dollar, and whatever you do with it to sell it, that profit is yours. This is available in 3,000 counties across the United States. Now, certainly, you don't want to buy junk. You want to buy slightly used and abused, but some of these properties just need cleanup and you can move into them. All right, so these auction properties are available and they are announced by the county and they're actually put in the newspaper. So anybody can buy at a public auction. Now, I've had clients buy colonial houses. I'm talking about houses on 5 acres with rolling lawns in front of them and big 75-foot oak trees around them. Maybe the house is 30 or 40 years old and is slightly abused. All right, the county is selling those properties, starting bid 20 or 30 cents on the dollar. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to get sold for that because some people will bid them up. But the point is, some of those houses are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But more of the houses are average properties. So what's being sold? Regular homes, small offices, small farms, but it's mostly homes. And this business has been around for over 200 years. And when I discovered it, folks, I never looked back. I just went ahead. So the objective is, you want to buy these properties low, then sell them below the competitive market. There'll be over 5,000 auctions this year. 3,000 counties. Many of the counties will have an auction every single month. You can attend those auctions. Now, here's a couple of cautions. Don't buy a property or any property unless you've looked at it. In other words, boots on the ground. Why? What if there was a fire? It could have burned down. What if there was a windstorm? It could be damaged. What if there was a flood? I mean, you're getting the idea. What if it was next to a chicken farm? I don't think you'd want that in August, that's for sure. Another thing that you need to be cautious of is you need to know what your selling price is. See, you know what the buying price is because it's going to be the back taxes starting. So you need to know what your exit strategy is going to be. So don't buy unless you have an exit strategy. Okay, I've run out of time, but right below me is a free gift for you. Right below me is a free gift. I'll see you on the next video.